Okay, I believe we are back. There we go. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I've got no control. Sometimes my internet just likes to go out. It hadn't done it at all today, but it decides to do it twice in this game. I'm gonna go back up and watch this kill up top that I did miss. I apologize again. Nocturne gonna go down here. The flash, the ignite. Nautilus with the Drudge Line does pick up that kill. Aurelia forced to back off, but let me kind of get back into the swing of things. I'm again sorry about the crash. Did I miss anything super special aside from that kill up top?
Just that kill right there. Kennen and Nautilus able to outplay Nocturne and Aurelia pretty badly. And managing to pick up the second assist for Nautilus, which is going to give him his second ability, his first Sculptor 5 item right now. And after that first blood on middle lane, Vladimir is going to simply rain hell over Ahri in that middle lane. And once Vladimir gets ahead, there's really no coming back in that lane. So, quite unfortunate for Ahri with that flash early.
Did I miss a hotshot death? The hotshot has 2 deaths.
Yeah, on top lane.
What was the first death?
Oh,
How does
no,
he have...
hotshot has just one.
Oh, are you sure? Because it says 2 deaths on mine.
No, I'm live right now.
Okay, that's so apparently that statistic is wrong, and Hotshot only has 1 death. I don't know why it's showing me. It shows him as 0, 2, and 0 right now, so he is actually 0, 1, 0, right?
Yeah, he didn't get executed either. That must be just bugs.
Okay, well there you go. And you know, I apologize again. If we do go into a game 3 here, I will allow Crumbs or someone else to take over the stream, because I definitely don't want that to happen again at such a pivotal moment. There's going to be some contests going on over this blue buff. It looks like Nocturne was able to secure a nice smite steal. Ezreal does get locked down, forced to Essence Flux away, but he's going to be okay. Or Arcane Shift, rather, is that move. Ahri doing a lot of damage with her Spirit Rush, missing a charm just by a hair, and 4 members of TSM Evo are going to be a walk out of that jungle for free. Nocturne, good job smite stealing that blue buff back to his own side, not wanting to give that up at all.
Exactly. Now that Kennen has red buff, Aurelia is going to have a very hard time in that lane. Red buff, of course, does true damage on hit as well as provide a slow, and true damage just can't be mitigated with anything except just hoping that you have enough health to survive it. And with that red buff, Kennen's one of the heroes that is known for being very aggressive with his auto attacks in the lane, so he's able to wear down Aurelia quite a bit and take her down to about a health that he can fight Aurelia himself. And Aurelia now just seems to be losing that lane just because of that.
Yeah, Kennen has 64 CS to Aurelia's 59, so they're very close in that respect. But Kennen was able to get 1 kill onto Nocturne when he came up for a gank, and Aurelia still is just 0, 0, and 0. Hasn't even gone back to buy yet, while Kennen has gone back to get Sork Boots and a Doran's Shield, just for good measure. Usually you see Kennen's picking up like a Doran's Blade to help their auto attack kind of spam and harass, but a Doran's Shield, I guess, is can be just as effective, right?
Yeah, going Doran's Blade really makes you a lot more, is when you're playing much more aggressive, and Doran's Shield is giving a little bit of respect to Aurelia, knowing that Aurelia can kill him with relative ease. So getting Doran's Shield will give him that bit of armor, prevent her auto attacks from hurting that much, and as well as giving him a bit of regeneration while he starts to build up his revolver, which he's gonna end up transforming into a Will of the Ancients later, but just not this early. He doesn't need a Will of the Ancients for the laning phase. Only until the mid to late game fights start happening, in which Vlad will join the fray, will he need a revolver, a Will of the Ancients build, because after the nerfs, it's no longer cost effective to build a Will of the Ancients right off the bat just to have it in the laning phase.
Most definitely. And here comes Aurelia, Blade surging onto the Kennen, getting an Equilibrium Strike slow off because she did have the higher HP value in that fight. Nocturne, she thought maybe Nocturne was going to Paranoia in, but he decides against it and is going to go back to farm his own jungle. In the meantime, down bot, Ezreal has 62 CS to Sivir's 65, so they're sitting pretty even. They both have the Zerker's Greaves and double Doran's Blade build. And people that are asking, Hotshot actually only has 1 death. He does not have 2. When my stream lagged out and froze and I disconnected, for some reason there's just a bug. You can see there's only 2 kills on EG, while it looks like there are 3 deaths. There's only 2 kills and only 2 deaths. up top. I was watching that dragon kill up there, but it looks like Kennen was able to take down that Aurelia. Gets a nice 3 Mark of the Storms as soon as the Equilibrium strike. So they're both kind of just sitting right next to each other. Void Boy all out of mana right there. Wings of Death gets a nice Ignite off, a nice last Thundering Shuriken. Does take Aurelia down up there as well. Let's jump right back to live. Okay. So, I mean, Ezreal, double lift on Ezreal, like you said, you've seen it before. I don't think I've really seen it that much. But Ezreal, not really, I don't think the greatest late game carry, correct?
He actually has a very strong late game because of his poke and the ability to deal so much damage from such far range. So he's not the worst hero late game. Ooh.
Oh, and he is going to go down just about. No, the last Epik Ignite does take him down even through that health potion. But here comes Ari to try to clean up this mess. She Spirit rushes in, gets an Ignite down off on Sivir. Nautilus is going to come in to try to deter it away. The Depth Charge is going to lock him down underneath his own tower. Are they going to follow up and tower dive this? No, they do not quite have the damage to do that. They do have a big creep wave coming, but I think the Taric and Nautilus combo aren't going to be able to really kill an Ari and lock her down.
Yeah, and as soon as Nautilus was setting up to follow that up, he actually got charmed by Ari, and that prevented him from using Dredgeline and actually going on the kill on him.
Yeah, and Sivir had to burn a flash to get that last auto attack to take down that Ezreal, but I mean, it was obviously well worth it. Taking down that AD carry is always a good thing to do. She has 2 kills to Ezreal's 0 kills. Ezreal has the 1 assist from that kill that just happened against Sivir. He didn't actually get the kill himself, though. Ari was down there to clean it up. But I mean, Ari with the kill is never a bad thing as long as the support doesn't really pick it up. Wings of Death taking a lot of damage up top, forced to blow his Slicing Maelstrom to protect himself to get a nice CC off onto Void Boy. He's going to walk away with almost no health, about 100 health after he pops that health potion.
Yeah, and now that Aurelia has a wit's end, there's really no way that Kennen can lane against her. Even with the 2 kill advantage, her damage and ability to mitigate Kennen's damage with that magic resist is just too large.
Nautilus is going to be locked down with the charm while they're trying to invade Hotshot's blue buff here. It looks like they're going to start this thing. It's going to be a 4-on-3 right now until Ezreal gets there to make it a 4-on-4. Afro is just going to start DPSing the blue buff, and they're actually going to be able to take this, donating that one straight to Saucy with a nice last transfuge. So Hotshot net not able to smite that back onto his side. He's a little bit zoned, a little bit too far.
And now on top, Aurelia is starting to win the lane. As the mid game begins, she's going to be able to win that lane harder and harder, especially with the Wit's End. The Wit's End is going to allow her to do everything she's doing right now.
And she is putting out so much damage on Wings of Death. That was just a few auto attacks, an Equilibrium Strike, and a Blade Surge with her Heat 10 style active. She can do that pretty much as she wants against Wings. And
exactly.
It's not going to be good for him at all.
Especially because Wings actually opted to buy a Doran's Shield, which gives him armor, which is going to stop her auto attack damage by just a hair, but her damage is not even going to be purely physical. It's mostly magic and true damage right now. Magic damage coming from the Wit's End and the true damage coming from the Heat 10 style. So that's what's chunking him so hard.
Yeah, and she does it again, the Blade Surge into the Heat 10 active with the Equilibrium Strike right behind it, and able to put out a lot of damage onto Kennen again. She can just harass him all day. You know, she has no qualms about that. Whenever she starts getting low, she's just going to pop her ultimate and heal right back on up.
And she can keep doing this because she knows that Nautilus is in bottom lane and will not come top and respond to this.
Wings of Death popping a Slicing Maelstrom, put out some damage on Void Boy, but he may pay for it right here. Nocturne is kind of coming up for a gank, but that ward does spot him, so Kennen is just going to recall right here at his own tower. As far as CS is concerned, Kennen has amassed 103 CS to Aurelia's 111, so they're still relatively even. Kennen does have his needlessly large Doran's and Sork boots right now, picks up an Amplifying Tome that we'll see built eventually, I'm assuming, into a Hextech Revolver for his Double Will of the Ancients comp, while Aurelia has 115 CS, boots 1, and just a straight up Wit's End. It's crazy how she's able to deal so much damage with just a Wit's End right there.
Yeah, Wit's End is definitely core on Aurelia, and right now Nautilus is going to be rocking the Oracles and clearing everything. There's 3 wards in the upper river area, and if he decides to check it out, he's going to be able to kill those 3 wards and potentially get a kill on Aurelia, but she does get spotted by the ward, which will no longer be alive.
That's 2 wards now. If he goes down a little bit more south, he will see another one, but no, it looks like he's just going to come back into his own jungle. As far as the bottom CS is concerned, Sivir has 103 to Ezreal's 91. So Sivir using her Boomerang Blade to try to effectively zone this Janna Ezreal combo out. And the pressure of Dazzle that Taric brings to the table is also very, very scary down there as well.
Yeah, the burst that they can provide with Sivir's auto attack reset, which is a ricochet, as well as the boomerang blade, coupled with Taric's armor shred and his ultimate, is gonna be able to kill almost immediately anybody on that bottom lane, Janna or Ezreal, both alike, especially because they have an ignite. So ignite, boomerang blade, the ricochet, a couple autos, and Taric's combo should be able to take anyone of this bottom lane down in a matter of seconds, irrelevant if they're at tower or not.
Void Boy just kind of resting in the brush, waiting for Kennen to come ahead and check that, but Kennen decides against it and is just going to go back. Or maybe transition mid. He's going to get spotted by 2 wards of CLG down the river. They do ping him just to let his mid know. And he's going to come back up top, but little does he know, Nocturne is up here waiting.
He's actually just roaming around there, didn't even bother to ward anything. I think he wanted to make a move on Dragon as EG started Dragon right now, but simply knew it was probably a call by EG telling them not to go for Dragon since they already got it. They don't need him.
And he gets ulted on. He's able to lock down Aurelia at a very, very long range. Will her Blade Surge be back up? She decides to flash 2 more seconds on Blade Surge, but the Lightning Rush comes back up, and she's not quite able to close the distance underneath that second tower. Ezreal ultimate! Oh! Just barely misses Wings. That could have taken him down. Wow, that was a very, very close blind ultimate.
I gotta say that I thought that was a very big misplay by Hotshot. I don't think CLG timed Dragon, and then he just decided to camp top lane and didn't know the timer on Dragon, which costed the Dragon itself. And then he camped top lane for the gank and was a bit too impatient, didn't really wait for Aurelia to get the stun off, instead relied on her to just proc a slow. And with the slow proc, that will not net himself a kill, and that's exactly what happened. Ken, with Electrical Surge, just manages to get away. Even with the Janna passive, they cannot chase him down because he's just so quick.
And again, like Nautilus and them, the entire TSM Evo team have this blue buff of Hotshots locked down. They have the timing to a T. They come and steal it, or at least try to contest for it for the 3rd time, taking it for the 2nd.
They don't want to let Ahri have blue buff. Ahri with blue buff is very scary, able to just shove the lane as much as she wants and sustain herself in it as well, almost to the same degree that Vladimir can. And that's what they don't want. They don't want Ahri to have blue buff and be able to just roam freely around, ganking every lane that she just pleases to do so, because that could be detrimental for TSM Evo. And the control that they're offering in taking control of every single blue buff is what's winning the game essentially for TSM Evo right now. They're doing exceptionally well at taking the blue buff from Ahri, denying it, and CLG just has no answer to it. The jungler seems to be unaware, and the middle lane as well as the bottom can't really do much about a 4-man engage at the blue buff.
And not at all. So Hotshot has been, Hotshot and Ahri, pretty much both of them have been without blue buff for the longest of times right now, and Dragon has been secured by EG a few times now. I think it's been twice, correct?
Yeah, they only managed to pick up the first blue buff.
Okay. Well, Dragon. What about Dragon?
All the dragons have gone to Epik,
yeah,
to TSM Evo.
That's what I thought, because during that top lane gank, EG was taking Dragon all the while, and Wings was able to get out of there at the same time. So, not very good for them right now. Chaucer does have his oracles. He's going to be cleaning up some of those wards. I believe Unstoppable still has his oracles, yes, and he has had that for quite a while. So that is now clearly paying off for him. He has the double gold pretend. He has the Aegis now to help out his team. And, I mean, when a team fight breaks out, it's really going to be really good for TSM Evo. The Paranoia coming out from Nocturne. He does land onto Wings of Death. The Fear Tether does go off, and they're going to take him down very, very quickly. Nautilus comes in with the depth charge, trying to save his little furry friend, but he's not quite able to do it. He's just a hair too late.
Nautilus
But he
gonna
gets
have to
caught
flash here
right
sometime.
into Ari and Janna. And wow, Afro move. Can't even say that for some reason. Gets taken down very, very quickly. And this is this now they're taking the blue buff back. CLG saying you've been taking our blue buff all game. Let's take yours now.
Great play by CLG, being able to get 2 kills out of that for none, as well as with the roaming with Janna having the oracles. They're able to do this. If they didn't have oracles, they would not be able to move around freely, because clearing wards is what's going to allow them to do this. They're transitioning out of the laning phase, and that's exactly what they want to do. They've been losing the laning phase in almost every lane, and they just can't do that anymore. If they're to stay laning, they would have increase their gap with TSM Evo even further, and would have most likely make a comeback even more of a just a rare comeback.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see. They're now down 2 kills. They're down about 3.4k gold, it looks like. The towers are even, but 2 dragons have been secured from EG right now. So that is pretty much what's making the biggest difference in gold right now at this current point in time. And now Voidboy just jumping onto wings, putting down so much damage. But Nautilus is coming back in from behind to help, along with Tarek. So Voidboy in a sticky situation here. And here comes Saucy as well. The dredge line will pull Voidboy back into the team. He tries to take Kennen down with him, but he goes down way too fast. Is this potentially a Baron fight right here?
Perhaps, but that was way too greedy by Voivo, being overextended so much, considering that there's a Nautilus on the team and the CC that Kennen can provide to keep her in lockdown for so long, and the fact that she had no wards. She was pushing that lane and trying to kill a Kennen with 0 vision, so that's awfully risky by Aurelia's part, and she paid for it. EG reacts to it immediately and has none of it. They say, okay, Aurelia's here, no wards, gank her immediately, and they did so. They did just that with a 3-man gank and Kennen.
Donating 50 gold to the bank accounts of TSM Evo right there. They were CLG double warded the Baron, and the Oracle spotted them both. So at least they deterred the Baron. You know, there no Baron taken for TSM Evo, which is good to see on the part of CLG. While their big damage dealer right now, Voidboy, was dead.
Exactly, and now Ezreal is about 200 gold away from having his Infinity Edge, but Sivir already has hers. That's the result of the 2 kills, as well as the 3 dragon advantage that they've been able to pick up so far. Sivir sitting at almost 7k gold, while Ezreal is just a little bit above 6,300. And once more, they're going to be going for the blue steal. They know the time. CLG does not know the time of their own blue buff, and that's why they can't capitalize on the plays that EG is making on it.
Looks like this is going to be Dragon number 3 donated straight to TSM Evo's bank accounts, their Swiss bank accounts. And CLG just kind of rewarding Baron, trying to get as much vision over there as possible. Chauster no, he's not going to run into any trouble there. TSM Evo going to move out and probably just clear the wards that Janna just so lovingly placed. Oh, Nautilus is going to go back.
And now Kennen already has his Zhonya's Hourglass built up, so TSM Evo is going to be looking to force a fight anytime soon, because Vladimir has a death cap and Kennen has the Hourglass, which allows him to keep all of CLG CC'd, whoever is inside his ultimate, keep him CC'd without taking any damage. Hourglass is going to make him invulnerable and able to just simply be out of the fight while dealing damage, making it essentially a one-sided battle. And Sivir has double buff, so you want to fight when you're at your strength, when you're at your strongest, and that's the point that EG is right now. And either they could fight right now, or essentially just wait a bit longer until either Vladimir or Kennen, or even both, get a Will of the Ancients and just fight with that, with a double AP, and Spell Vamp increment is going to help them out in sustaining their fighting abilities by just an unbelievable degree. And it's going to be even more so once they get an Abyssal Scepter on their team.
Yes, it will be. And it looks like is Nautilus going to be building that Chain Vest into a Frozen Heart, do you think, to mitigate some of the true damage of Aurelia's Heat 10 style?
Most likely. Right now, CLG has 3 auto attackers who are their main source of damage, Ezreal, Nocturne, and Irelia. So that Frozen Heart is going to be able to slow their attack speed by quite a bit, as well as making Nautilus quite tanky himself.
Oh, and the Dazzle does come out, locking down Chaucer down for just long enough to take him down. Nocturne decides to ult into the back line, trying to fight against Sivir, but he goes down as well. Nocturne goes down, Aurelia goes down, Vladimir goes down, and Ezreal is going to quickly go down as well. 5-for-2 exchange. That is going to be an ace in the favor of TSM. They kind of baited that Baron fight as hard as possible, and they got exactly the fight that they wanted.
Yeah, and now they're going to be able to push this inner turret right now, and perhaps even take a base turret. Sivir does have a great pushing power. Same goes for Kennen, who does have a bit of AD runes right now, and I think they may opt against, and that's exactly what they want to do. They want to be sure to shop right now, because in concept, CLG could go for a counter Baron. It's very unlikely because Vladimir is up, and Vladimir has a 400 ability power at 26 minutes right now, so they most likely will not go for that, although it's definitely a possibility as in a desperate Baron and a final attempt to get this game back into their hands, since they're about 8k gold behind right now. And Chaucer bought another Oracles and will most likely be waiting for Epik for TSM to check this bush.
It definitely looks like it's exactly how it's going to go down. Spirit Rush, Monsoon, and Paranoia not quite up, so this is the fight that TSM really, really wants to have. Aurelia jumps onto Kennen, but she gets deterred because Vladimir shows up and is going to protect his tiny, tiny little friend. The Death Charge does come out onto Double F, taking out him and Aurelia almost at the same time, and they're going to be in hot pursuit against Ahri and Janna, but looks like they're going to back off and go ahead and take a free Baron in that 2-for-0 exchange.
Yeah, that exchange definitely going into EG's favor by a huge margin. They're going to be able to take a Baron off this, as well as 2 members of CLG. Aurelia being very aggressive and actually going to a 1v3 against Nautilus, Vladimir, and Kennen, and didn't really go into their favor.
Another Hail Mary Baron steal, not able to get that. He tried again. Just a valiant effort there from Hotshot.
Yeah, and now the lead is extended to over 10k for Epik for TSM Evo. They have 9 kill lead, 1 turret, and 3 dragons, as well as a Baron. And I believe they've been out CSing every lane. And yes, they have. Every lane has been out CSing with the exception of bottom lane, which is even right now. So TSM doing an exceptional job this game. They're really looking like a definite contender for the championship of this tournament.
Yeah, they're looking really good. Now next Tuesday will be the TSM versus Legion match. So if TSM's able to take that away from Legion as well, we're going to see 2 TSM teams essentially in the finals, the live finals in San Francisco on June 1st through 3rd. So that'll be really cool to see. They'll have to play each other, and then we'll truly know who is the A team and who is considered the B team.
And now Vladimir will be going to base right now. We'll most likely see him purchasing a Will of the Ancients right now, just to make sure that... Actually, no. He's going for just crazy amounts of damage right now. He's going for full burst, not even fully sustained build. He has 620 AP at under 30 minutes right now. That is a massive amount. You rarely see such a hero like Vladimir get this far ahead in any game. Same goes for Kennen. Even though he didn't have the greatest laning phase because he had some trouble against Aurelia, he does have 320 ability power right now, and that scales off extremely well since 4 of his abilities do scale off ability power. He's one of the few ability power heroes that actually scales with 4 abilities.
Yeah, they're just going to siege this mid turret, and they're going to probably take it down with this next creep wave. I would assume they have Baron, so they have the percentage-based health and mana regen. Nocturne is going to try to come in over that wall, but he may get caught with a dredge line. No, it looks like Nautilus pulls back from that. The Ezreal is pushing bot all the while. He sends a true shot barrage through the mid lane just for good measure. And here's the engage. A Dazzle comes out into Ahri right after her Spirit Rush, so she was able to put a lot of distance between herself and the enemy team of TSM right here. It looks like they're just going to focus down the inhibitor, take that down, and she flashes out of the way of the dredge line. That definitely would have been her death. All the while, Ezreal doing as much work as possible, trying to push back, trying to get his team back into this game. But with an inhibitor down in mid, down 9 kills, down about 12k gold, it's not looking good for CLG right now.
And Doublelift choosing to back, he was pushing, and I think what CLG was trying to do was try to keep TSM from backing so that Doublelift could push that tower even more and perhaps even get an inhibitor out of it, but that would require CLG to sort of get in position to get engaged on from TSM, and considering they have Nautilus and Kennen, getting in that position is not something that you really want to have. Being engaged on by those heroes without, even with Janna, it's very difficult to just be able to disengage such a hard engage comp. You're gonna get CC'd and you'll most likely die in the process because of the strength that Sivir has right now, rocking an Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer. Same goes for Vladimir. Transfusion's hitting for, I believe, 626 damage right now every, how many seconds?
3.4
every
seconds,
3.4 seconds. He's doing almost 700 damage with just one spell.
And it's really great to see TSM Evo. Their Baron buff is about to run out in just a second here, but they have used it to such great efficiency. They've taken down a middle inhibitor, they've taken down turrets, they've won team fights, they've done everything you need to do when you have the Baron buff, and they're going to keep pressuring this. Aurelia is far away, she is up top. She does recall right after they take down that tier 2 turret in the bot lane. So she will be in this fight here if they decide to tower dive it. They're just going to siege this turret down in bottom lane, let their middle lane kind of push, wait for CLG to be out of position. And, I mean, they have all the capabilities in the world to tower dive here.
Absolutely, they can, but I think they may want to go for a just sort of a, not a full engage, make sure that CLG has to back off immediately, and that may just be what they need to push down the bottom turret, because they don't have to rush this. Tower diving is a very risky act and could result in them throwing the game away, which seems to be won already with a 13k lead in their favor. So I think they just want to take it easy, just slowly push the game and try to ensure a victory.
Yeah, there's the engage. Nocturne decides to paranoia right onto Nautilus. Maybe not the greatest target ever. Hemoplague, I don't think, only hit Janna right there, and that Hemoplague is gonna hit for a lot of damage. Ahri decides to Spirit Rush out of the way. The depth charge almost taking down Hotshot. It does take him down. Ezreal falls, Aurelia falls, and this is gonna be game. TSM Evo stomping CLG 2-0 in this best of 3 series here.
Yeah, so TSM Evo able to beat the new lineup that CLG has, and they'll be going to the San Francisco finals against teamless absolute legends, the European team, as well as the winner of Legion and TSM, the main team, on Tuesday.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting